Here's a harsh truth that no one wants to admit. When someone betrays you, steals your work, manipulates your family, or sabotages your business, 90% of victims never get justice. They complain, they cry, they tell friends, but the betrayer faces zero consequences. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens and how the smart 10% always win. I'm Madison Clark, and over the past 5 years, I've studied hundreds of betrayal cases. What I found shocked me. The people who get justice don't have more money, better lawyers, or powerful connections. They have something else entirely. They understand human psychology and they document everything. Let me tell you about Sarah, a wedding planner whose client deliberately destroyed her own wedding to ruin Sarah's reputation. Most vendors would have just absorbed the loss and moved on. Sarah did something different. She realized her client had left a digital trail of intentional sabotage, emails, text messages, even a handwritten checklist of ways to destroy the wedding planner's business. Here's where most people fail. They get emotional. They start posting angry Facebook rants or confronting the betrayer directly. Sarah stayed calm. She gathered every piece of evidence, contacted other vendors the client had similarly sabotaged, and built an airtight case. The moment of truth came 6 months later. The client had moved on to destroy another wedding planner in the next town over. Sarah had been monitoring social media and saw her opportunity. She created a detailed post with screenshots, timestamps, and testimonials from other victims, showing this client's pattern of intentional sabotage. The post went viral in the wedding community. Not only did Sarah's reputation recover completely, but she booked 3 high-end weddings that same week from people who admired how she'd handled the situation professionally. This story, along with 19 others just like it, is detailed in my book, Served Cold: 20 Stories of Perfect Revenge. Every single protagonist wins because they understand 3 psychological principles that most people miss. First, documentation beats emotion every single time. The person with evidence wins, not the person with the loudest voice. Second, patience creates opportunity. If you react immediately, you miss chances to gather more proof or catch the betrayer in bigger lies. Third, public exposure is more powerful than private confrontation. People fear losing face more than losing money. You know what separates these winners from the 90% who stay victims? They treat betrayal like a chess game instead of a boxing match. They think 3 moves ahead while their betrayer is still gloating about their first move. I've packed all these strategies into Served Cold: 20 complete stories showing regular people outsmarting workplace thieves, family manipulators, business saboteurs, and social destroyers. Each story breaks down the exact methods used, from initial discovery to final victory. For the next 5 days, this book is only $2.99 on Kindle. That's 20 revenge blueprints for less than $3, cheaper than a single coffee. But here's why you need to act now. Starting Monday, the price goes up to $2.99. More importantly, if someone has betrayed you, the window for justice doesn't stay open forever. Evidence disappears, people forget, and betrayers get more careful. The strategies in this book work, but only if you implement them while the trail is still warm. Stop being part of the 90% who complain but never win. Join the smart 10% who turn betrayal into victory. Click the link below. Get Served Cold for $2.99 and learn how to make sure justice isn't just served. It's served cold, calculated, and completely satisfying.